Hi.
Hello.
I'm Martin Wood.
This is Damian Kindler doing an impersonation of Christopher Heyerdahl.
I'm Christopher Heyerdahl doing an impersonation of Damian Kindler.
That actually sounded like an impersonation of Troy McClure.
I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such episodes of Sanctuary as Haunted and The Five.
Haunted Boogaloo.
Haunted
electric
Boogaloo.
Haunted Electric Boogaloo.
Haunted too.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a good Christopher Heyerdahl.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a show about Chris Heyerdahl, so we're going to let him do all the talking. Go, Chris.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Over toward the mic. Toward the mic. Toward the mic.
Towards the mic?
Road rash Heyerdahl.
I usually have a mic attached. Ooh, what was that? Bullet holes?
No, what you knew?
Oh man.
You've never seen this show before?
What do you
Look
go
at
ask?
this. It's like the whole
Who is
tease.
that woman?
It's all Chris all the time.
Yeah.
Although we haven't seen you as the big guy yet.
The big guy. Do I play the big guy?
Please.
Well,
Please, it's time that you came out. Whoa, not like that. Oh, that's a... So, okay, let's talk about Haunted and where it came from. Yeah, we were talking earlier about something that we can't talk about.
So let's not talk about it.
I was talking about what we originally had planned for this.
I don't mind speaking in code if I know the code. I don't know what you're talking about.
Remember what we had originally planned for this spot?
We're all flies at
Was the Bigfoot episode.
Oh God, no.
The
Can't
big
go there.
Bigfoot. I was just going to say, we had a Bigfoot episode planned.
Or as we called it, Ewok Village of the Damned.
Say that about Mr. McCullough. That's
We
not
we were talking about just going this direction, and it ended up we couldn't go that direction for lots of different reasons. And
That's
so
not this episode, though. That was a different episode.
this episode is in fact the John Druitt episode.
Well, I'll tell you, this episode was always in the back of my mind, and I talked with you about it before we even shot season 2. As we know we're going to need a 6-day bottle show set in the sanctuary.
Right.
We knew that.
Bottle show meaning a show that we can shoot much faster, and it sounds like that every time you change the scene. And the way you do it is normally by not filling a scene like this with 40 people that you have to do all this camera coverage of. The way you do it is by having 2 people in a room, then 2 people in a room, and 2 people in a room, and you can do all this intercutting between them. It feels like a big full show, but it's actually very fast to shoot.
Was Robin clipping her nails?
Yes, he was doing toenails.
And
Painting and clipping.
So the idea was to create a show with our regular cast mainly, and most of the assets we own.
Most of the what?
Assets.
You said sets.
I like the sound of that.
I am the most mature person on this podcast.
Okay.
So everyone knows.
And continuing to talk about the podcast.
Well, I love podcasts. How do you feel about them?
I like podcasts too. They're much less formal than the DVD commentaries.
This is what I heard.
Yeah. It's
fucking right.
whoa.
What? It's on the
No,
internet.
you got to take it to that. You just
Take
gotta-
that, Congress.
Yeah.
I can say what I want.
Whoa. So anyway, back to the show
The
at
Senate,
hand.
not so much. They're nice. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, you like the Senate?
Yeah, they're
Wow.
smart. Senators are cooler than Congress people.
Wow. What if some Congress people are fans? You alienated them.
They're not.
Exactly. Okay, forget it.
No, they don't. You know,
Who am I kidding?
They don't
the
get it.
Senator are all Quebecois.
Obama gets it.
Yeah.
You know? Nancy
Oh, you're
Pelosi
talking about
gets it.
Americans.
Yeah, they're talking about Americans.
Not the appointees in the Canadian system, or the hockey club, who I will not talk about anymore. Losers.
Okay. And so anyway, here we go, talking about
Oh,
the
this
show
is
that is
this is very interesting actually, because we had written this differently
finally.
than yeah. Just don't hold your breath; you'll die. This look on your face is so great that we were
Yep.
able to actually recut the show and use that as our. There was actually a murder, a second murder,
there's a murder that happened where he murdered a guy in a hallway.
but that was the original tease. There were 2 murders, and what we decided is it'd be cooler to get rid of the. We wrote 2 murders. He murders someone in the tease, then he murders someone in the. I have to stop talking now. Sorry, you'll find out after the beep.
Commercial break. And we're back.
Okay, so
We're back.
the tease was supposed to end with a murder, and then another murder somewhere in Act 1 with Magnus getting wise. Peter actually suggested it, and I went, I hadn't seen the footage yet, and I went, I don't know. Then I looked at it, and that amazingly evil look on your face allowed us to cut the show into a more streamlined version where
I
literally
was
it's
thinking of you.
evil and, yeah. I thought just not writers in general.
No,
but
you.
me specifically.
In particular.
you.
Writers in general
Just
is
you.
evil level 1. Damian Kindler takes you down to level 9. And
As he fondled his knife, he thought, Damian. Here.
I'll kill him for writing this tepid, stilted dialogue.
Instead, there's actually one. There's only one murder that takes place, and it was shot a different way, and we completely changed it in editing. We changed it around so that
we got noted quite a bit on this one. This was in the original version. This whole what we did is we layered our cake with one too many layers. We had an extra murder. We had an overheating weapon, which is why this scene exists.
The weapon, by the way, is getting towards. It's a design that Magnus gave him from Pavor Nocturnus.
Yeah, that's what the logic of it. But the logic of why the scenes in the story isn't there. Because we literally had, on top of everything else, we have an overheating weapon in Henry's lab, and that's one of the reasons Will was going to have to go back. As it turned out, when we finally got our kind of wires uncrossed and our sleep deprivation taken care of, we went, you know what, we don't need this scene to pay off. But we still thought it was a cool scene. I remember Peter DeLuise saying, look, we can still use this. Don't either cut or rewrite the scene with the overheating weapon. It's funny. It's a fun bit of Will Henry business. So we left it in, and I am happy for that.
By the way, sleep deprived because Damien, Amanda, and and Robin had just come back from 3 days in Tokyo, where we were essentially 76 hours in the ground in Tokyo. Watch what it says now. And so we came back completely sleep deprived. None of us slept at all. We were shooting scenes for show 12 in it, and came back, and Amanda had to do 10 pages of dialogue with Chris the next day.
So
So
let's talk about Druid here, because this is a very important episode and very important scene for Druid. Yeah.
So see, this was all changed. What Chris is actually reacting to is the original words that were written,
And
which was
you understand this, actually.
Chris was originally reacting in the script to words that said, "Does Magnus know that this is happening inside you? And does she know how you feel?"
You had pitched out the idea that does Magnus know what a threat you are?
Right.
And I went, well, if that's true, why is this happening? And we felt it was a little bit, it wasn't personal enough.
Right.
It had to be more of a I can see
Right.
inside your soul moment, because this is a wonderful moment for him to, for Druid to really react to it. Vulnerability would trigger rage.
So the thing is that Chris, sitting beside us here during this podcast, for the first time is actually seeing that his reaction was perfect for the new lines, which
Just
was...
a second. Chris!
Oh, I'm back now. I'm back. I was just taken into another world. Very handsome, hairy man.
Yeah, this is a scene that we added later on to forward the idea that something is wrong in the sanctuary now.
Why did you do that tilty?
Because it's cool. No, it's not. And this is an extra scene. I shot this one.
This one?
Yes.
Are we in the submarine now?
Yeah, we shot this on the last day of shooting.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
I shot this one. So
I couldn't spell my name on the
put
last
the
day of shooting.
we put it.
I
We
couldn't spell my name on the last day of shooting.
we canted the camera because it's cool.
Cool can't.
Yeah. You don't
Sort
need
of
to.
like, why does fire and smoke come out of it? Because it's cool.
It's called Dutch. It's called Dutching the camera.
That's right. It's called Dutching the camera. It's
Everything
very
Dutch is
sexy.
Well, why do you use a
Everything Dutch
Russian
is cool.
accent?
No, everything
For the
Dutch.
Dutch.
You're crazy, man.
Everything Dutch is cool. Think about it. Dutch pancakes, Dutch angles, Dutch ovens. Everything's good.
Dutch oven.
What?
Yeah, you love Dutch ovens, don't you?
What are you talking
Well, you
about?
pull the cover over your head.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you guys talking
Dutch
about?
oven. Okay, so this scene originally,
Still puzzled.
what Ryan and Agam were
Oh, it's a
reacting
fart
to.
joke.
Oh man,
stay
we were
with
trying
us.
to do it without saying the word joke. Anyway, here we are in the hallway. Agam and Ryan are actually reacting to a man who's dead down there, but
It's obvious. You don't have to say
Yeah,
that. We
look.
can see that it's the reaction.
Yeah,
Reactions to
Somehow-
male death are different.
somehow Agam checked him out,
Yeah.
even in death.
Oh,
So-
man.
We don't see
That was
here.
a low blow.
Oh my God, you guys! I'm trying to be serious. I'm not talking about somebody's penis. I'm talking about the actual show. What?
You know how they say that when you hit like the topsoil, just stop digging because you should call your hydro company because you could get burned if you dig too deep. You don't really read those signs, do you?
Okay, so I love this scene. Watch this.
What's he doing with
Druid
his
starts to change here.
Here's a neat little move.
Druid starts to
yes.
change. And this is Magnus realizing he's changed, Druid realizing the game's afoot,
All right,
and
let's take a
And
breaking
I must
action.
force her hand.
Can we talk about
Yes.
Magnus and Druid? Go. Just talk about how you feel this episode in general. We've been blathering. I'd like us to shut up and you to talk.
Well, this is all about him forcing her hand. Is that she has to do something about it. He can't do anything about it himself. He has to force her. She's the only person that can do this. These are the only two people left of the five. There's no one else to do. Well, there's that other guy, but what can he do now? Like he can move trays or
Magnet.
something. He can
Yeah,
move
he's
trays.
a waiter.
Yeah, he's a good waiter now. So he's forcing her hand, and he knows that she's not going to do it. So he's going to do everything he can to make her kill him.
Or he'll kill her.
That's right. Absolutely.
so yeah, but isn't he actually trying to kill her here?
No, he's forcing her hand.
Really?
Yep.
But why not just take the gun and blow her head off?
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's right. He's forcing
No, I'm
her.
forcing her hand.
I think that he actually is reveling in this right now. And nice! I love that punch.
I think you're on.
Both of these hits were really good,
I
by
think
the
you're
way.
onto the same thing that I feel about it too, but from a different perspective. I think that he has this sort of passion for the chaos of their relationship. That when it's peaceful and you know and copacetic, he's unhappy. He doesn't trust it. That it's only when there's conflict between them that he believes that there's some deep connection. And if you want me to pass you this giant joint I've been smoking, I will.
Now, why did she suddenly have a stun gun?
It's hard for me to talk about this stuff because I'm sitting here watching it. It's a good episode.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah, no, thanks for the joint, by the way. Their relationship is always at 11.
Okay.
11.
11. This relationship goes to 11.
That's right. And that's why he doesn't like to hang around the sanctuary very much, you know? Because whenever it goes down to 10,
Yeah.
he's got to go.
Yeah. It's not. It's why. There's the question. Why do you think?
It's I don't know, man. It's complicated. We only have another 32 minutes.
We're
To talk about
gonna run
I'll go on forever. The thing that I find kind of interesting, the stuff that we never see, it's the 10 years that we haven't seen.
That's right. Yes.
What they have seen each other.
Yes.
Right.
And there's tons of stuff been going on, and they continue to push the relationship forward.
Well, okay.
Or
but-
backwards, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's
Yes, I'll get
Druid
that.
keeps looking to try and push it, but I don't know whether Magnus was because, again, you'll see it later on with that moment in the cell when they actually have the moment where we're away from them and they're sitting
Yeah.
close together, and I think that was a first for Magnus for a very, very long
Absolutely.
time. You know, that moment where she actually got to get back to him. Because we see her in End of Nights on the first show where she's sitting on that plinth and Druid comes over and says, I'm not asking you on a date.
Mhm.
Her reaction is not at all. There is no warmth there at all. There's nothing
You
there.
just said plinth.
Warm plinth. So Roman Pillar of Strength is actually what I was going to talk about.
Or hot breakfast cereal.
Yeah. So, but I think that it comes, although Druid's agenda has always been to push it. I wonder whether she's been.
from day one. But I agree with you that the thing is that he's always in conflict, so he can never be around her too much because there is this fine line of he's so attracted to her, so drawn to her, that he's terrified of hurting her.
Mhm.
But he also knows that he doesn't believe in peace. He's like Richard III here. I mean, he everything is the winter of his discontent. That's all he's essentially.
Oh, not the real Richard III.
No.
You're talking about.
I know
Shakespeare's
you
Richard III.
might, yeah. Oh, sorry, excuse. But there was something. Whenever I read Druid, I read him from the point of view of someone who was just completely uncomfortable with the idea of the world being in balance and being at peace.
The world isn't in balance. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks, just helping along. Which is why the performance is so great, because once you're at this point in the story, you are actually embracing a sense of peace and balance, and
Embracing, I don't know. But
No,
he doesn't,
no, I
he doesn't
don't-
understand.
he doesn't understand what's
He doesn't
going on.
understand why he feels so peaceful, and actually, it feels pretty shitty
Right.
because he hasn't felt that.
Well, since the
anything
five.
like that. Exactly.
Since the five, when he came back and sat and talked to Ashley and said, for the first time I see clearly, but now he's
This is
faced with,
different.
he doesn't understand why, right? He doesn't get
the
where.
confusion is that he's feeling something he hasn't.
Not
probably-
even with the 5. 'cause
Exactly. He's feeling something he hasn't felt since
There was a
before
calm
he
in the
took the
5.
blood.
This is
Yeah.
this is peace.
That's what I'm saying. And
He has
he's
no idea what to do with it.
right. That's why the performance is so great.
It's quiet.
Yeah.
There's this thing that kept going through my head of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of quiet, that kind of calm
Freak you
meditation,
out.
he hasn't known it for a century.
Yeah. It's like suddenly all the noise in the world, like living near the Niagara Falls, it suddenly turned off.
Where's my television? Where's my television? I gotta put the TV on.
Where are my faults? Where are my faults? Where are my faults? So, okay, let's talk about this relationship for a few minutes.
What relationship?
The Bigfoot Kate relationship, which starts essentially here.
Yeah.
Up until now,
He has no interest.
she's been like that cockroach in Wall-E.
That's right. Boop.
So, but yeah, it's a cool relationship. It's that
He doesn't trust her as far as he. Well, actually, he trusts
could
her
probably
less
throw
far
her,
as
yeah.
he can throw her.
But she's beginning to acknowledge that he's this sort of fairly wise, experienced guy.
Oh, the things he knows.
I think so.
I think
I think
Kate
that's
doesn't
sort of what he
doesn't
portrays
react to Zen very well. That's the thing. It's not a part of her life.
Yeah.
That when she comes up against Zen, like the Zen of Bigfoot, then she doesn't have anything to hold on to.
I consider Bigfoot like the Luke Grant of Sanctuary. He's like kind of look, I've done this for a long time. I know what I'm doing. Of course, I love you guys, but it's curmudgeonly in a way.
Is that why he always calls her Mary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Richards, get in my office. My name is Kate. And then, of course, that makes Robin the
Ted Knight.
Ted Knight. Hello, Lou. Anyway. Okay, so we've just derailed everything by comparing our show to Mary Tyler.
We should be so lucky.
Hey, that's why I can
We
have
should-
a hat next
we
episode.
That
should-
makes Magnus
I can
Mary
throw it.
Richards.
Yeah, we should enjoy that success.
Oh, Rob. Oh, John.
Who can turn the world on with a smile?
Excellent prop acting.
Yeah.
Amanda
Yeah.
Tappan.
Yeah.
She can throw the five-legged dog up in the air.
We're back.
Oh.
Hello.
So Peter DeLuise did a great job directing this
Yes.
episode.
Didn't he?
He's using different angles and pieces that we own. We own props and glass bits, and this is our med lab and OR, and you're not having to build a lot of huge set pieces. Why'd you make that face to me?
I'm not making a face. I'm just listening to you talk.
No, you are making
Just
a
hurts.
face.
No.
It just
Let's
hurts.
just
The
have
sound
it
of
out.
your
I'm
voice
not
hurts.
making a
What's
face.
wrong?
I'm
It's
just
the internet.
listening.
You can say whatever you want.
I'm just listening.
With the OR Med Lab?
No, I'm listening. All I was doing was looking at him. Nobody understands it.
No.
It's really just me sitting
Martin
there.
Wood
sitting
literally
looking at him.
turned, swiveled on a dime, looked at me, and his eyebrows went down. He went, as though, you don't have a med lab, you dork.
No, we have a. Of course,
He's
we have a
a
med
trainee.
lab.
What are you
Of course, we have a
talking
med lab.
Okay.
No, it was just
We've
keep
worked-
talking.
no, we've
I
worked
love you.
together for,
I love
3
I
years.
love you. I love you.
You know what?
You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like a guy way.
Yeah, in a judgmental way.
In a good judgmental
I love
guy
to
way.
judge you.
Yeah. No. Okay. So again, I want to go back to this relationship here because
We're back.
it's very funny. This is the funniest part of the whole thing.
See
I love
that's the
look.
look I did.
But you know what? I understand that look. That's wow. What a wise thing you're saying, Martin. I can't wait to hear you say more. That's what that look was. So that's what you were getting from me. Is
look.
You were getting. Yeah, exactly. I will continue.
Troubled and kind of upset.
I will continue, Grasshopper. Listen.
I'm the grasshopper. Okay. You better mean
okay.
the green trophy. Bird.
No, I'm talking about Kung Fu, man. You worked in that show for long enough, didn't you?
If you could snatch the plasma screen from my hand.
Damian Kindler just gave me Modern Warfare, by the way. I just want to say
Modern Warfare 2.
thank you. Modern Warfare 2, yeah. So
Sold out.
anyway, okay. So let's talk about this. Yeah, Peter is you worked with him in both roles and in the comic role. In the comic role, talk about Peter.
I worked with him in both roles.
Yeah,
I worked against him in one, and I worked with him in the other.
he,
On top and on bottom.
what I mean is
Oh, he's a gentle and kind lover.
you have to understand that Chris Heyerdahl plays both Kate Freelander and Bigfoot. So
And Magnus when it's over her shoulder.
yes.
I love that wig. It's my favorite wig.
Okay, so Chris, Peter and comedy.
it was a wonderful feeling to be in the gentle hands of Peter DeLuise. He cradled me so gently, in a comedic sense.
Yes.
Because this is a Rip Snorton comedy
Because
episode.
this is the funniest stuff going on right here. This is funny stuff. And he really helped me with the timing of this comedy. And this
Give you a light chuckle. Now
yeah,
a little guffaw.
how to make that purple shirt funny.
Now give me an awe. And now a big group laugh. Okay,
Yeah.
ship it.
Now this I was
Tony
impersonating. Who was I impersonating? Robin Dunn. Right, that's right. Because he's so short.
Did you take your pants down?
That's what that meant. Because basically you only see it shot from the waist upwards
Right.
because
Right. So that was, the stuff in the cell was shot the day we got back from Japan. Amanda had probably about 3 hours sleep the entire weekend and tried to memorize 10 lines of dialogue at the same time.
10 lines,
10 pages of dialogue. They're very long
10
lines.
lines.
Just one,
Wow.
the
One
entire
line.
page.
One line.
everyone's
per
going,
page.
wow,
per
she's
page,
amazing.
yeah.
She can memorize 10
Page
lines
one.
of dialogue.
One line.
So we came in. She was so angst-filled, but between Peter and Chris, everybody made it through.
Yeah.
That day, and it
I was upstairs,
laughing sleeping. You fell asleep.
head on desk.
Yeah.
I would not want to be an actor.
Yeah. So, this is what I was talking about with the parlor drama, by the way. There's a couple of people in every room, but it cuts back and forth very quickly, and it makes it look like it's a much more dense show than it is.
And it's clever because when you go on the other side of where Ryan is, you can... Thank you.
The writing is really clever.
It's like a wafer of a script that reads like War and Peace.
Oh, I'm full.
It's just a wafer, thin wafer.
It's War and
Give me a
Peace.
bucket.
Reads like a laundry list. But when you are on this side, you can get Ryan and Robin, and then on the side, vice versa. So it was clever. I'm going to pick the right...
Yeah, because you've got 4 people talking to each other rather than just 2 people.
Yeah.
Soon
And
there will be 6.
that's true when you actually hook it up, and you actually get to talk to yourself.
That's right.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about the number of times that we get Druid and Bigfoot together. We've only ever done it once. We've only ever had Bigfoot and Druid in the same scene once, and that was when they met in a hallway at the end of season 1. When
The door, front door.
Druid came, yeah, it was the front foyer actually.
This,
Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Yeah,
this was a
Hey,
script
you
that
kids
was...
together that jelly tree.
I won't say thrown together. It was crafted well. Precision engineering. Very quick.
James Thorpe.
James Thorpe, who was just a workhorse.
Brilliantly put it
You can
together.
literally break the story, and then the next day he will show up with like 5 pages of it, all kind of expressed well. And also he does...
All kind of expressed well?
He doesn't write in English.
Yeah.
He uses a Sanskrit that no one understands. So it's not expressed as
sign your
well as
death
he
warrant.
could.
Criticizing my grammar
Not
like
as
that.
old as Hindi, but pretty close.
Yeah.
He also writes in this wonderful kind of car salesman ease. Which
Font.
It's very no. It's actually very important. You talk about you really kind of got to slickify it and slime it up and make it all goopy and wonderful because when it goes out the door, the more salesman-y it is, the actual faster traction it gets with all the networks. They love that kind of exciting read, and
Didn't keep me out of your office, though, did it?
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do. It's
There's a
actually-
filter called the JMax filter.
And once that's actually just the outline. And once we get into the script phase, we can actually kind of fine tune it. But it's very important to get that first document, which has the structure and the moves and the story all encapsulated very quickly, and it's a slick read. And then once we get that signed off, and we can get into the finer details of script writing. And James is really good at writing those documents. An important skill to have when you're on staff.
when
James.
you're a writer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't be so important if you were catering.
If you're in catering, not so much.
Yeah.
Technical computer diagram, writing.
Right.
No.
So what's interesting here is that we've got people in rooms that are uncomfortable with each other. Right. Nobody's really comfortable with each other. Henry and Will are together lots, but Henry's in a situation where he's having to deal with medical stuff and things like that, which he's not comfortable with. Of course,
There's
this
a patient
relationship
who's
is
not doing well, and he's not equipped to deal with it.
She's not comfortable.
Yeah.
right. And Magnus and Druid are not in a comfortable place, and of course, Kate and Bigfoot are uncomfortable just with each other's
Smell.
smell. Yeah. Whoa, hey, wait a second. That means that Bigfoot smells.
He does.
Whoa, I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, he's very hairy. No, it's hard to.
I think
Keep
Agam
them
smells nice
going.
to humans, but not to big.
No. I mean, look at that nose. He smells a lot of stuff there, and he's
true.
not liking what he sees. He's always
Or-
flaring
Or
his
he
nostrils.
loves it more than he's letting on.
Well, we might
That
maybe
might
the
be the
last
case.
moment. You can read that into the last moment if you wish.
If I wish.
Yeah, I think what you're going to find is, as you watch this for the 5th or 6th time, you'll find the subtleties of these characters being together. And let's talk about subtlety. Let's talk about just what's happening with Druitt right there. This is his realization of he's getting what happened. He's understanding what it is that's just happened to him. Magnus is getting there too. The two of them are suddenly realizing maybe this thing was not part of him. And I think ever since the beginning of this, Druitt has always blamed himself for this predilection for murder. This
Not being able to
evilness
control
in him.
his
Yeah.
urges. Yeah.
This is a rare episode that unfolds in almost real time, and it allows the actors to actually not have to make jumps in the development of the story. They can actually play it out. Very little time has passed between the scenes that you were doing. In fact, I think you shot a bunch of them together, just as one, and it's sort of a bit more. That would be different than what we usually do to have scenes unfolding as one
Yeah.
moment.
And I think too that when we watch what happens with Druitt in here, and his realization is not the "see, I told you, that's how I'm feeling" kind of thing. It's a much deeper thing for him, which is the "this is not bred to the bone," which were your lines in End of Nights. You know, when you said it doesn't matter how she is, this is what's part of her DNA makeup. And you're talking about Ashley. In fact, it may not be. She may not have had that predilection that you have. And I'm imagining that there it is. That's the thing that made him tie his shoes the wrong way. You didn't see it. He didn't see it because the visual effect was being, there was nothing on set except, Lee Wilson sort of describing this thing was going to come out.
That was a good reaction.
It was a good reaction to the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There they are. We're back.
Got it that time.
Okay, so now what's going to happen? Damian?
Well, the rest of the show will unspool, and we'll just sit here not talking.
You have to sit forward. They can't hear you.
You're sitting back too.
I'm sitting back because I
He's
have a direct
projecting
line to the
back
microphone.
row.
Yeah. Yeah. If I sit forward,
Give me that mic.
yeah,
If you
if,
just hold the little plastic cover,
Give me that
they'll
mic.
be able
You
to
know
hear
what?
you.
How's this? Do you like this? You like
great. There's a lot of finger noise on the microphone there. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing we need to talk about is what happens now with these two.
We don't really need to talk.
Well, we do because
These
there's
two?
it's very interesting what happens with Magnus and Druitt right now, because there is this possibility. We cut away from them for a while, and they start to make out because they're back to normal, right? They
Oh,
start-
yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I think the idea. You know what? I was
They're
going to make a
buttoning up
legitimate
at the
point,
end
and
of
I'm
that
not going to.
Don't make
you
a
guys are
legitimate
12
point.
years old.
No, make a legitimate point. I'm
the idea
14.
was the wonderful thing about Magnus and Druitt is the ultimate tragedy of their relationship, and that is why the story actually has any heft. Otherwise, it's just another everybody trapped in different parts of the spaceship show.
Are we going to get serious now?
No,
It's legitimate. Let me
is-
make a legitimate
okay,
point.
all right.
You get one every podcast, and this is it. This is your last
go.
chance.
I'm done. That's
Go.
it.
No, come
I
on.
did.
Go.
That didn't sound very legitimate.
All right. Now the legitimate thing is that this is would be a bit of a perfunctory episode of we're all under our Die Hard episode, but for the fact that Magnus and Druitt's relationship is at the spine of it, and the ultimate tragic ending of his character's journey just in this particular episode is so profound. I think he's a huge amount of weight for both characters, and I think that without that, this is a far less important and intriguing story.
At the end, there's a chance that maybe there's a sliver of chance that they could
Absolutely.
actually have a relationship
Absolutely.
again.
And then you take it
But,
away.
but then what
Yeah.
happens? What happens?
Then you take it away, but it's still out there.
He can't do it. He can't do it. Too many years, 120 years of.
But it can't be. I mean, in all honesty, it can't be so cut and dried. There is a choice being made that he is making a sacrifice. but it is self-serving, not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I would not. I wouldn't even go there. I'd say maybe it's 15% self-serving. It's a choice
to
that
take
he
the
has
thing
to
back
make.
in him.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it
I
has
don't
to be
think
more
it's
than
that.
that. I think it has to be
You
more
think
than
it
that.
has
Yeah.
I think we're showing he's at his core actually a tragic hero. Flawed and you know, as he is.
Well, I don't know.
There's
because-
something interesting about a guy who's been evil, having the evil taken away, making a heroic choice to go back and suffer again.
I agree with Danny because
Although-
he's very sentimental.
Although
Very
you
sentimental.
could
Remember
misrepresent.
that time at the beginning of the podcast we were all getting along?
Yeah.
I remember those times.
I remember those
I don't know.
Those were the days.
What do you guys? That's ancient history, guys. Come on,
Okay.
come on. We are back in a place where
we just can't let it go.
we're antagonistic now. Okay,
While
let's just
Robin
stay
is
there.
opening up the cavern,
Yeah.
let's open
So,
up too. So you're saying, what are you saying?
What I'm saying is
stakes
that-
are too low by saying it's 15%.
I agree. I think that what Druid has to do in here is that Druid to make that decision at that speed is not
Serving himself.
Well, yeah, no, I think it is very much serving himself, but it's because he's jonesing for this thing again. I think that
You don't
there
think he's
is.
thinking about saving everybody?
No, I think that
Saving the woman he's loved
I
for...
do think that that's part of it. I think that's the 15% part, though.
Oh, not a chance.
Oh, come on! Think about
come
this.
on.
Let me make this point
This
then.
is, I knew we were going to go here.
Make the point.
Let me
because,
make
man,
this
I'm
point
ready
then.
for an arm
These are the
wrestle.
arguments that make me terrified
I'm
to make
so
a show
ready
with you.
for
by the
Here's
way.
here's what I would suggest.
85% of
I
why
want to get
he...
down to my underwear and let's get it on because
Here's-
I'm ready for it.
Here's what I would
This
suggest.
is like the
I'm on my knees.
Will should kill an
Is-
innocent man
Feels like I'm
argument.
auditioning all over again.
Is
Oh my god.
is Druid more interesting
Yes.
as a person who embraces this evil, or as someone who is just a victim of it?
He's
He's not a victim. He's making a
neither.
choice.
No, but see, the
He's
thing is
making a
that
choice.
if he's not making that choice to go back, if he's not making that choice more than 50%, if he's not making that choice to go back, then he's a victim of it.
No, not you.
And
wrong.
he's not
I
that
just
interesting as a
Could
character.
not disagree more. Could not disagree more. He's not a victim. Not a victim at all. Not a victim at all.
He's choosing to go back
He's
into
making a
hell.
heroic choice to sacrifice his humanity to save the woman he loves.
Yeah.
Because when you take the evil out of him, he's actually a heroic man.
I'm
He's
not saying he's not.
And more
I'm
than
saying
that,
that
the world.
ultimately the decision
He's
that
like
he's got.
the cheerleader.
Ultimately, the decision he's got. Okay, this is the thing you have to go to. Go back to the original
like
blood.
Steve Buscemi
okay?
on Reservoir Dogs. You're being a jackass, and I'm being a total professional.
Just go back to the blood itself when they all took the blood.
Yeah,
Was that self-serving?
Okay, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that
of course it was.
there
Totally
was
was.
ego involved in it.
Of course it was.
There was the whole Flatliners idea of this, but what it did was it enhanced something that was in you already. Okay, so it took a genetic thing that's going on inside you and multiplied it.
Teleportation.
Okay, teleportation, right? It did. And then with this thing going inside him, you're saying that it's the only part of him that was evil. There was no part in him that was evil.
There's evil in all of us. Come on.
I will not.
I'm saying
but I'm not.
there's
But I'm
evil
not
in
saying that.
everybody, but
I think that's the one. That's the wonderful,
I'm
juicy
saying
question
that,
we're
that
left with.
Druid is a much more interesting person as an evil guy than he is as the good guy.
I agree with
hero.
that. I think I was opposed to your fractionality of it all, or the percentage you were attributing to what attribute. I think he is a pompous, egotistical, intolerant.
He's a conservative. He's a hardline
he's a
conservative.
militant hawk man. Hawkman. He's Hawkman. Oh, that's Michael Shanks. Anyway, but I think aside from that, he's not.
Boom!
He's not evil.
Sparky.
What I would suggest is that the evil that entered him as he teleported would have amplified his negative attributes into something all-consuming.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That is not what you said. It's
It
what I
is
said,
what
and now
I'm
you're
saying.
stealing it.
No, it's not what I'm saying. All you've done is put it into words that sound.
You know what you
kind
are?
of
You're an
Jewish.
iPod vampire.
So
Okay, this is why we are friends and
a
make a
common
show together.
tolerance.
Because you express something, then I take it, and I make it sound rational. I feel like I
But you
write
do
a
give
man,
me- but
then
you-
I eliminate accountability and reason, and what's left is Martin Wood.
but then you do admit that the original idea is mine.
The original nonsensical one? Yes. All you, my
Damian
friend.
Kindler is really good at rewriting. Can I just say that? He's a genius rewriter.
Let me
Okay.
take that gobbledygook you just said and make sense of it for
That
you.
furnace, by the way, was entirely a visual effect. Did you know that?
Yes.
That we don't have a furnace at the studio.
It's
at all.
radiant heat.
And so we do have
That's
radiant
right.
heat.
No, I said
It's true.
radiant
We
heat.
have radiant heat.
When I wrote that, I was like, wow, that's a lot of radiant heat panels.
It is. Yeah. Double floors.
Highly inefficient.
Yeah. So,
No, not the hydro ones. It's the electric. Because those
Yeah.
hydro ones, I'll tell you something,
yeah.
they're a problem, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah,
They
you're
are a
speaking to
big
an expert.
effing problem.
Yeah. So,
Oh, I've got them. They're great.
yeah.
The hydro
Until
one?
they go away.
When
The
they,
water-
when
the water?
They in 1950.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah. Okay, so let's
It's a
talk
James Bond villain trap waiting to
about this.
happen is
This
what it
thing
is.
that Robin Dunn is in, by the way, is about 12 feet long,
Yeah.
and we're using extremely.
He is 3.5 feet long.
He's
Stern begudgeon, as you would say.
exactly. Yeah.
So
And it's just shot a whole bunch of different ways. So he's essentially in the same thing. That is the exact end of where we were looking
we
before.
can actually do this with
But
Robin.
we put a fan in the
Robin
Is that
saves us.
real?
The fan is at the end of it.
Robin saves us thousands of dollars in construction costs because he is a midget,
Yeah, 'cause
and we
it's
can
really
build what look like giant sets, and he just
It's not a real fan. It's actually a fan blade sitting on an axle that is being moved by a grip.
Is that real fire?
That is real fire right there. Yes. What's blowing him right now is cool air, though.
that's a visual effect of the heat waves.
So this is interesting. The elevator, Agam only ever climbed about 5-6 feet in the air,
And then it was Lonnie.
and then it was her stunt person Lonnie that actually did the big climb.
Say that
Why?
because we want Adam to look like she does it all.
She did it all. She did it all. She did this dive. Watch
She
this.
did do it all. I was
She,
there.
she did this. She's about 4 feet above the ground, and she actually drops. And now it's Lonnie. There you go.
And Adam gets up.
Yeah.
It's like Leslie Nielsen's stunt work in The Naked Gun.
Yes. Yeah.
Up behind the couch.
It's exactly like Leslie Nielsen's stunt work in
Yeah.
Naked Gun.
A Canadian tradition.
Yes. Okay.
She had legs you wanted to suck on for a day.
All right. Now let's.
Ryan's great here.
yes.
He really sweats it out nicely.
Yeah.
And this cast of who played the Africans, they were lovely people, and they were really a joy to work with. And
That's Nsiki behind him right there. And Nsiki was also our translator for.
Yes.
She taught us all how to speak
Zulu. She's my Zulu hero.
Yeah.
and who played the guy who was murdered, the one who found Will? No, who was the actor who played the?
No, the guy that was murdered, but wasn't murdered.
Say it again.
Hamza. Yeah.
Hamza.
Hamza. What is his name?
Wow.
Well done.
Yeah, we're asking we're calling a friend to get that information. We use
Would
a
you say
lifeline.
you sound like an
That's
imperialist?
asking the audience.
An Imperial Stormtrooper? Yes, I do. I sound like an Imperial Stormtrooper.
The Nigerians are not in the Death Star. Same guy for every single one of them.
It is. He's the same one that actually was in the Rebel base that said the
Whoa,
first
that's going fast.
transport is away. So
Did
giving
you
him
see the preview for something Dark Side?
No.
When the first transport leaves Hoth? Yeah. Suck on this, Empire! And they just blow him up.
haven't seen it yet.
You don't have to. I just gave it to
Thank you for
free.
giving me the entire
I'm
movie.
like iTunes over here.
Thanks.
Robot arms, did not know, we've never seen them before. This is what we do. We think of a neat, cool thing. Hey, we've never seen this before, but it doesn't matter. It's episode 11
But
of
you
season
have
2.
you have
Boom,
seen
robot
them,
arms.
You've seen them in the ring.
we've seen the
we
ring.
have seen them
Yeah,
in the ring.
That's right.
We're back.
Okay. Now, we had
we
this
had a
discussion.
discussion.
Yeah. What I said is, hey, robot arms, great idea. We've never seen them. We have the ring.
Yeah.
One ring to bind them all, I
The
said.
ring. Yeah. The ring gives us
One
robot
ring
arms.
to give the exposition for
See,
all.
here's the interesting thing about working in the writers'
What
room.
does I call it?
on,
Deus Ex Machina.
The only interesting thing.
Deus Ex Machina ring.
on Sanctuary when
Machina.
Yeah, Machina.
when I walk into the room with the writers, nobody ever knows what's going to happen.
Everyone's sphincter makes this sound.
Nobody's ever sure what's going to happen because Damian thinks, "Oh my God, we've got the most ridiculous idea right now," and
It was
Martin's
James's
gonna,
idea. I mean, Alan, not mine.
and Martin's going to react to it. And
There,
nobody,
Sarah, catch! I have to go to the bathroom.
he thinks I'm going to react in a really bad way, and there are times when I do,
wonder
and then
why.
sometimes
You walk in with a
but
dime.
then-
What do you expect?
Then there's some times that I don't, and the times that I don't are the times when you give
You
me
rephrase that.
the
There
most.
are some time that I don't.
Okay, let me ask you something. When you first pitched out next Tuesday,
Yes.
Do you remember how it started? It was on a roof, and we were on a roof in an apartment or a building, and there's a helicopter up there, and you just sat back and you waited for me to respond to it. And my response was, no, I think we could do it somewhere else.
Have you ever considered a career in writing?
And then,
Because this is amazing. A career in fictional writing. Have you ever considered
And
it?
then-
You should take it.
then you said,
And comedy. Listen to him over here.
and
The
then you
Norwegian
said-
comedy circuit
and
is
then you said,
waiting for
they
you.
won't understand the joke unless I finish. Then they said,
I've heard that before.
then they
They
said,
were holding hands, by the way.
they're holding hands. So here's the thing. What happened after that was I pitched out another thing that was like 10 times worse, and you were incredulous. You didn't think that we would do that. Then when you actually said something to me once, you said, "Oh, let's do this in the sanctuary," which you thought was a non-challenged kind of scene. I went, "That's stupid. Let's try this." And so I shoot down the really easy ideas and then build up the really.
You could have started with that.
I have no self-editing. That's the problem. I don't.
Should I rewrite that? You know what? You embrace the hard ones and let the easy ones go.
Oh, that's a good way of saying it. Okay, let me say it again.
Can we change
This,
Can we change our production company to Armpit Fart Productions? 'Cause I think it's just more apropos of the way we run our show.
That's the big guy's first take.
You know that I want to see those
Yeah.
those arms build a sandwich.
You never see that before.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Camera take.
Really?
Yeah, he does it.
Oh, nice,
Huh?
nice.
Huh?
That's because you.
Ryro got one in season.
You know, every outtake, whether
Season one.
whether you're Druid or especially as Bigfoot, is you doing Groucho Marx.
That's right.
It's like I want to give you like
I was using Kate as a cigar.
horn-rimmed glasses and a cigar. You should have them below frame at all times.
Cloud in the sky of young love.
Exactly. The train stop with the jerk and I go to.
Let's watch these last few seconds of Druid as a regular guy. Okay.
Just a normal guy.
I'm
just normal
a
guy.
who loves a
And-
girl.
Look,
Look, he's so polite.
Magnus.
Breaks
I
eye
just
contact.
met a girl
Short
named
person.
Magnus.
Short person. Press a button.
breaks eye contact. There's a moment there
Touch your pen.
Starring.
for all eternity.
Her eyes are up there, big guy.
Say it. Good. Thank you. What the hell's that mean? I still don't trust you. Don't kiss her. And Zorp. Oh, see? He wasn't there. It was him saying, I can't wait to get back to this evil. I can't wait to get back to this evil. That's what he's saying.
Can we put a moratorium on you singing your ideas?
Okay?
I
Don't
will
stop.
make you happy, Helen,
Believe
for
in-
all eternity.
Hold on to that feeling.
You guys knew that.
Yeah.
You guys got that.
Yeah. No. I'm going to let you live for all eternity.
Huh?
I like your reaction here. This is good.
This is great. This
Yeah,
is
that's
one
a
of
good
those
reaction
surprise
right there. Oh,
reactions.
no. That was right over the top of the bumper.
Get away from me.
Really good.
No, I don't
So
need your help.
talk about this is a big switcheroo here. I mean, did it feel?
Like a big switcheroo? That's exactly what I was thinking.
You know what? I'm not paying you any more compliments today. Your day of compliments is over, mister.
Put your big
Tomorrow I
switcheroo
might
back in your
compliment you.
pants,
Yeah.
and let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
So I love this
He's
exit.
pained. Oh, well.
Yep.
You know, we had thought about
It's
making
gone.
a bigger deal about the fact that he could have literally just committed suicide, because in
Did he?
in the beginning of the episode, it says he talks about
You guys
you
set
have
up
no
that
known destination. I
You
could
don't know where
die.
you're going, you're going to...
Yeah,
And
and
that's what he says.
is he?
Still.
Yes, and was he?
Huh?
It's like
Where did he
Or
go?
it's like
I'm
walking
dead.
at the end of
What if
you went to-
Journey.
what
if
One shot, boom.
What if you
Yeah.
went to Niagara Falls? Like, what if you just went somewhere you wanted to go? Like, girls' change room. Here we go.
Well, he does
Seattle
it on a
Space
regular
Needle.
basis, though.
We're done.
That's it.
Wow. Okay,
Sure hope
that was
that
a good
recorded.
rehearsal. Let's do it.
Sure hope that recorded.
Let's do it for real. That was a good rehearsal, boys.